What is going on, everybody? It's France, and we're back for NXT review from August 15th, 2018. NXT went off the air about an hour almost ago. And we have ourselves the go-home show to Takeover Brooklyn with... There's a lot... Like, usually when we see these go-home shows, we don't usually see, if anybody, who's actually going to be wrestling at the Takeover shows used prominently in this show. This time, though, was a little different with Roderick Strong versus Tyler Bate. We had Kairi Sane versus Aaliyah, and EC3 and the Velveteen Dream had themselves a nice little promo. But I will talk about the main event for me because it was a damn good main event. I don't like something... this is one thing that bothers me about WWE and tag team like building towards a match at a big show like WrestleMania or a pay-per-view or any other pay-per-view or a takeover, where you have, like, when it's a tag team title match, we're going to take one member from each team and plop them into a match on free TV or on NXT or Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live and have them wrestle a match. Now, we've seen that a couple times recently with, like, the Bludgeon Brothers when they faced the Usos at the Greatest Royal Rumble. I believe it was Rowan got beat by one of the Usos, which then told you that that team was not going to win. It's mostly predictable who's going to win the tag team title match, but it's just having this match tonight just screams this team is not winning because he won on, like, yeah. It's just, I hate that they do that. Like, you had Kairi Sane versus Aaliyah, that's fine. You have Kairi Sane getting momentum going into NXT Takeover Brooklyn, which I will talk about that tomorrow. I'm kind of flopping back on that match. But it's always one of those things that you have a tag team match, or when we get non-tag teams, when we had two matches, like say they could have did Adam Cole and EC3 and Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet and EC3 in a tag team match leading in, and I would have been like, that's just, no, don't do that. There is no reason to actually do that. So the show started off with the Street Profits versus the Mighty. The Mighty, I think, are falling from grace from where they used to be, because these guys were in the finals of the second Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. One gets injured, they're gone for an entire year, pretty much. Come back, we get them in the third Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, getting beat out the first round, and then basically turning heel, changing their name, and they haven't really done anything since. I mean, they've won a couple matches by nefarious means, but they really haven't done anything. This match came down to Ford PKs Miller. Thorne rolls up Ford with a handful of tights. Ford reverses and grabs a handful of tights himself with other trunks for the win. And of course, Lazar again, it's not how I was like, oh, how could you do that? It's just the Street Profits giving the Mighty a taste of their own medicine, because the Mighty have won majority, if not all, of their matches against named opponents by rolling them up, hands on the tights, or rolling them up and feet on the ropes. So the Mighty, I think WWE or NXT is just like, I don't think they have any plans for the Mighty now, and they're just going to be casualties of wrong place, wrong time. That injury to, I think it was Miller or Thorne, one of the two, really hurt the Mighty completely, because I'm pretty sure they would have been in tag team contendership back in, 2016? Yeah, because they missed all of 2017. They would have been in tag team contendership. In 2017, because it was the end of 2016, early 17. Yeah, I believe Takeover Brooklyn 3, we might have seen TM61, as they knew at the time, if there wasn't that injury, in the tag team title hunts, compared to Sanity and the Office of Pain. But that injury, I think, derailed them so badly that they probably will not see the success in NXT or the main, not the main roster. Nobody should find success in the main roster, but they won't find success in NXT where they would have been if they both would have been healthy 1 year ago. Backstage, Shayna Baszler runs into Aaliyah and tries to give her some tips for her match against Kairi Sane, because we have Kairi Sane versus Aaliyah here in a bit. Undisputed Era dresses down their opponents, same old shtick with them, all four guys in with this metal steel, whatever it was behind them, just sitting there cutting the usual Undisputed Era opponent promo. And they tear down Mustache Mountain and the War Raiders, who want to challenge them for whoever leads TakeOver as the tag team champions. So It's nothing wrong with their promos. It's just it's the same thing all the time. They are the Undisputed Era. They are good at what they do, and I don't expect anything less from them. Kairi Sane versus Aaliyah. Before the match, Shayna Baszler walks out onto the ramp, wants to play mind games with Kairi Sane. Baszler takes a seat at the commentary desk. Ends up, you really didn't. Sane hits the insane elbow. You didn't think that Aaliyah was actually going to win this match, did you? That's the thing. Aaliyah, I call her the knockoff Bella Twin because the last few times I've seen her wrestle, she's been looking like she took tips of how to look like a Bella, like the long lost Bella. Sane hits the insane elbow, doesn't cover Aaliyah. Sane stares at Baszler. Sane hits 2 more insane elbows, little overkill if you say. Sane goes for the pin, but before referee counts to 3, Sane lifts Aaliyah's head off the mat. Sane is still staring daggers at Baszler. Baszler stands up from the booth. Sane puts Aaliyah in the anchor. Sane leans so far back that her head is on the mat. Sane points at Baszler as Aaliyah taps out. They are really pushing the anchor as a devastating submission hold to counteract the Karafuda clutch that Shayna Baszler has. It will be interesting to see on Saturday who's going to walk out as your NXT Women's Champion. There is conflicting players. There's 2 sides to the fence on this one for sure. Who's actually going to walk out of NXT Takeover Brooklyn as your NXT Women's Champion? Then we get the Velveteen Dream in-ring segment. Dream says, EC3 is funny. EC3 is so smart, clever, and charming. EC3 has Dream's curiosity, but now EC3 has Dream's attention. EC3 has made an enemy out of the Dream, and Takeover Brooklyn, it will be Dream over. EC3 then comes out and asks if this is what it sounds like when doves cry. Yes, like, of course, because he takes inspiration from Prince. We got to just sit there and throw out the Prince references. EC3 says he is going to claim victory after victory and so forth. Dream says EC3 will not have his hand raised and EC3 won't be laughing. EC3 says they don't have to wait for Brooklyn. They can do this right now. Dream throws his coat in EC3's face. Dream tries to hit the rolling DDT, but EC3 counters and hits the TK3. And that ends that. Video from the night Aleister Black was attacked is shown. Essentially, the entire roster was in the general area. They had the video last week of William Regal checking, being told what was happening, and he went out and checked. And then they showed another video not too long after that. I think I talked about this unscripted. But they showed another video of 2 different angles, 2 different camera people, and one just, was asking what is going on, and to all these people, and I don't even know, were they alerted or something, but they showed everybody in the NXT roster one time or another in both of these camera angles. So, my question is, will this actually be followed up on after we get through NXT TakeOver Brooklyn and the Aftermath show next week, which will be, of course, taped before NXT, which, of course, they're going to have an UK Championship match taped, Zach Gibson versus Pete Dunne next week on NXT. So, and you know NXT has not started yet, you already know Zach Gibson's not winning that match because they already have a month full of tapings, for a month plus probably full of tapings for NXT UK, and I'm pretty sure they want to have the Pete Dunne's still going to be the champion starting that show. So the big question coming out of this entire Aleister Black thing is, will this be followed up? As you recall, back when Hideo Itami had an injury, they had him attacked and they had Kevin Owens walk by, but he was hurt so much, he was out for so long. Kevin Owens already went up to the main roster, so they kind of just dropped the entire attacked angle. With this only being a short injury, I would not be surprised if Aleister Black is at the next set of NXT tapings. Because unlike Drew McIntyre, which a lot of people comparing this to Drew McIntyre last year, where he tore his bicep and was gone until after WrestleMania, not as bad of an injury at all. 6 weeks, I believe, and he's already been out for, 2, 3, so it would not surprise me if we see Aleister Black or in the next set of tapings or the tapings after that, in which we will get a resolution to this thing, and then NXT TakeOver War Games, you will have Aleister Black versus his assailant, whether that is Tommaso Ciampa or Johnny Gargano, Lars Sullivan, or whoever it is. Celebrate versus with Trent Seven versus Roderick Strong with Kyle O'Reilly was the main event, as I stated earlier. I'm not a big... it's like these two can go. These two can put on classic after classic after classic. That's not the problem. It's the fact that this is the go-home show, and we're getting essentially, let's have an NXT Takeover preview between Tyler Bate and Trent and Roderick Strong. And you already know probably who's going to win this match, because if you know who wins this match, you know they're probably not going to win in NXT Takeover Brooklyn, even though the tag team match is one of the more predictable matches at Takeover Brooklyn. Tyler Bate wins with the Tyler Driver 94 after a damn good match for the win. That is your NXT Takeover Go Home show, which, yeah, it's not a big, huge review. I am looking forward to see what's going down with NXT Takeover. They did, of course, have a Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa highlight package. You know, you gotta advertise that one, even though they weren't there. They weren't shown tonight, which is always WWE. If there is one thing WWE always does right in their shows, is the fact that they, like, in their production, is the fact that they have killer. It's Raw, like Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or anywhere else. They have some of the best hype packages ever. I mean, it's not even funny how good these hype packages always are. And this one is no different. I would play it here because it is on their YouTube page, but of course, like I said last night, I have seen. I put one up a couple months ago, and I'm like, and I get hit with a copyright claim, so I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to hold off on that because they always use some kind of music, and it is what it is. They also, of course, highlighted Adam Cole and Ricochet, which I'm looking forward to that match. I'm hoping Ricochet will not be too damaged because he was injured months ago. I think it was before Chicago, actually. He was injured before Chicago. He worked the match at Chicago, really, and wrestled 2 tag team matches, and really hasn't done anything since. So, quite honestly, Adam Cole versus Ricochet will be the first match Ricochet has had since the Royal Albert Hall. And I think the NXT taping's right after that. But that is going to be all for your NXT review. I know it is a short NXT review. This is, right, of course, the go-home show, so not much happened storyline progression-wise, other than they made Kairi Sane look like a badass, and we're getting ourselves. We have a few days left. 4 days left? Yeah, 4 days left until NXT Takeover. I will have a preview and predictions up tomorrow at noon for NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4. The last NXT Takeover Brooklyn until we get to to WrestleMania next year. But make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like this video, hit that. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at TheFrance. Find me at twitch.tv/TheFrance08, and I will see you guys tomorrow for an NXT preview, NXT Takeover Brooklyn preview and predictions. It is going to be a lot of fun, and the main event is definitely going to be one of those talking points that we're going to have to get into. Until then, I will see you guys later.